Welcome to Coping with Ghosting, the show that provides hope, healing, and understanding for anyone who has ever been ghosted. Hi, I'm Gretta. I live in Southern California, and I've been ghosted one too many times. Over the years, I have found healthy ways to cope with the pain that comes with this type of loss. I have discovered practical solutions that can help with the grief process, and I'm here to share what I've learned along the way. While I am not a mental health professional, I do have a master's degree in communications and a lot to say about the topic of ghosting. This is a podcast for anyone who has ever been ghosted in any walk of life, whether it was by a love interest, a significant other, friend, family member, or even a business partner. If someone with a disappearing act has affected you, you have come to the right place. What is ghosting? The Oxford Dictionary says ghosting is the practice of ending a personal relationship with someone by suddenly and without explanation withdrawing from all communications. There are different levels of being ghosted. It's all on a spectrum. Let me give you some example of ghosts in the dating and love category. If you've been married for years and your partner leaves in the middle of the night without saying goodbye and then never contacts you again, that is ghosting, and that is extremely traumatic. On the other end of the spectrum is when people are ghosted in dating apps, when their potential match becomes unresponsive or deletes a chat without saying goodbye. I consider this micro ghosting because the person has faded away like a ghost. In this case, having a lack of manners can take a toll on very sensitive people. Unfortunately, ghosting happens frequently, and this shows us that there is a bigger issue in our society. Common courtesy is not so common anymore. I want to share why this topic is so close to my heart. The first time I was ghosted, I was in high school. One day during my junior year, my favorite friend at school decided she wanted to ignore me. She avoided all eye contact with me, and when I tried to talk to her directly, she turned around and walked away. She didn't answer any of my phone calls from there on out. There was no explanation. I was never given a reason why. This rejection took a huge toll on my self-esteem. I felt anxious, I was shocked, and I was confused. Overall, the experience affected my ability to trust people. The next big ghosting happened after college. It was with a guy I had dated for a few months. We had broken up, but then we boomeranged back together. I remember one day we were on a train together and we were looking at all the different apps on his phone. We came across a dating app and he said, "I'm not going to need this anymore." I thought, oh my gosh, it's because of me. Maybe I'm the one. Because our chemistry was really off the charts. In fact, a couple of days after that, he invited me on a multi-day trip throughout many different states. I told him I couldn't go because I had a conflict, and then I never talked to him again. There was complete silence. I texted him. I emailed him. In fact, I was so concerned that I started looking for an obituary. But one day, I saw a Facebook post from him, and it was a cheeseburger. I couldn't even believe my eyes. And a couple of months later on Facebook again, I found out that he was engaged. I wanted to fall into a hole in the earth. I was completely devastated. I felt duped. I was ashamed. How could this have happened to me? I thought about it so much, and I listened to our song on repeat. I just wallowed in self-pity and binge-watched TV. Of course, I ate too much ice cream, but the biggest issue was that I wondered, am I really lovable? You know, when we are ghosted, it's easy to develop negative core beliefs about ourselves. I'm a fool. I get tricked easily. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Of course, all of these are false beliefs. They are made up stories we tell ourselves. For me, it was so much harder than a traditional breakup. In a regular breakup, each party can say their piece. Everybody says goodbye. Why is this so darn painful? Dr. Pauline Voss coined the term ambiguous loss, which is a relational disorder caused by the lack of facts surrounding the loss of a loved one. She explains, ambiguous loss can freeze the grief process. People can't get over it, and they can't move forward. They're just frozen in place. That's how I felt, because there was no conclusion. There was no, I'm breaking up with you because of this reason or that reason. There was just silence. It was so confusing and mean. Fast forward to 2019. I was single again and dating. One time, after a date that I thought went well, the guy completely disappeared. I remember reaching out to him and not getting anything back, and I told my girlfriends, and they said, oh yeah, that's totally common. Well, really? I started getting fascinated with ghosting. I did a lot of research into it. I decided I wanted to help people get over it faster than I had in the past. When I did a deep dive into ghosting, I learned that people ghost for several different reasons. Here are a few examples. People ghost because they are immature. Did I have to tell you that? It could also be because they just want to avoid uncomfortable conversations, or maybe they really don't want to hurt your feelings. Other, more serious reasons can be because they have a personal problem, like mental health issues. The possibilities are endless. In terms of reacting to being ghosted, over the years I learned that I can't control other people, but I can choose my reaction toward their behavior. We can assign meaning to our ghost stories. I could choose to spend hours longing for someone who was mean to me, or I could choose to be grateful that I'm not with a person that frankly has horrible communication skills. I can shift my mindset. Now I don't say, I was ghosted. I say, I'm lucky because the universe protected me. I've also found that I have compassion for people who ghost, as in, maybe that person was going through a really hard time. It's taught me to be able to forgive faster. Overall, I have a stronger, thicker skin, and I've adapted a growth mindset. When I think about the ghosts, I can look back on our time together and ask, how can I learn from this? Which red flags did I miss? What can I do differently next time? If you have been ghosted recently, here are some silver linings to consider. You deserve to be with someone who can maturely communicate their feelings and have hard adult conversations. This person has weeded themselves out of your life for you. And as Mark Groves from Create the Love podcast says, ghosting is someone dumping themselves for you. Also, if you want more resources, you can download my free guide that outlines 5 ways to soothe your heart and mind after being ghosted. You can find this on copingwithghosting.com or at Coping with Ghosting on Instagram and Facebook. Join me in future episodes where I plan to do a deep dive into the issues I discussed today and more. And thank you so much for joining me. And remember, when you are ghosted, you have more time to connect with yourself and those who truly appreciate you. You deserve the best.